tu all star this time ikue all star
with the sponsor
akikuja
all
star weekend. Si all star siku moja tumefanya kila kitu.
All star weekend after the premier after the league or between first leg and second leg. Between first leg and second leg.
Voting fans.
Hiyo narudishia league committee sahi.
We should amend the constitution as KBF because I feel like either those developmental teams should not play the playoffs even if they are number 1 2. They just because they will not go anywhere.
I don't think that should become a constitutional matter. We probably need to put something on that in the league rules and regulations so that they
Kenya Basketball Federation Secretary General Madam Angela Luchibia. Na leo tumeamua tucheze outdoor kidogo. Episode moja on the road. Na tuambia Bobby tupeleke.
I think tupatie tu Anji opportunity ya introduce vizuri. Wamesema tu SG. Banji ni former national team Kenya team. Lazima hizo nilikuwa nishaangalia lakini sasa nashinda useme acha ajipige ajipige pako.
Anji.
Of my Angela Luchibia, Kenya Basketball Federation Secretary General, former national team player for almost 13 years. I was captain of the national team also for a number of years, actually the longest serving captain of the national team. I'm also the FIBA Zone 5 head of women commission, and which means I basically also sit on the FIBA Women's Board, Africa Board. Also a member of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya. I'm a board member there. There's many other things, but those are not important for this specific conversation.
Umesahau kumention I think you're also a member of NOC.
I've said I'm a member of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya. Of Kenya.
Yes. It doesn't even important here still.
Hapana.
Kama okay, basketball related I think ni important but kuna ingine labda kama na mtu hiyo sijui kama uko kama uko na mtu
wife mother those words are there. Sister, it's usually said wife, mother, sister, friend.
Karibu.
Thanks a lot.
We are fallen one. You are very conversant with us. Tulikuwa na push and pull.
Yes. Tulikuwa tunasema fight behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes ni vita. Lakini
it's a pleasure kukaa na wewe leo tusikie what is ahead in the basketball ecosystem.
At the end of the day, it's for the interest of basketball.
You're
vital for the interest of basketball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Karibu sana.
The best love is always found where people fight. They don't always agree. In that fighting, you get to learn each other and get to love each other better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Karibu sana.
I think me nitaanza tu from the word go to league imeanza leo. The Kenya National Basketball League started today officially. Na behind the cameras look wanasema partially. It's a partial start kwa division 1, the lower divisions. But the premier bado. Probably your take for day 1. Umereport yoyote?
Day 1 obviously usually starts with a lot of challenges. The first challenge has been, we were hoping that by now registration of players from the teams would have fully happened. But much as we made it digital, it has still not happened fully. So we've had a little bit of a slow start in terms of that. We've had to have push and pull with some teams, calling up teams to remind them, you're playing at this time, we haven't seen your registration form. So what's up? Are you still going to play or not? And stuff like that. So on that note, we are just hoping that, all the other teams, even those in the Premier League, can be able to register in good time. Much as we put end of registration on the 14th of February, but we had mentioned to teams that you need to have at least put in some players by today. So that your game is not starting and we don't have your registration form. So that's the first part. The second part is, given that we've also not started the Premier League, that's why we have started 70% today. I can say 70% because if Div 1, Div 2 have started, then that's where we have many teams. For me, it's 70%. Maybe. I know everybody is looking at it in terms of if the Premier League has started, that's when the league has started. But these other leagues are also as important as the Premier League, because these other leagues are the feeder programs and they feed players into the Premier League. If we don't have that support system, then it means that we really don't have basketball in the country, because then where are we getting the rotation and transition of players from? There has to be that. So there's been, yes, a delay. The other thing is, obviously, we started without Nyayo Stadium, which is our conventional venue. There's a few issues that we're still sorting out with Stadia management. We have set a meeting with them on Monday, so we will be able to sort and come to an agreement with them by Monday. But other than that, I think teams are out there enjoying the game of basketball as they should. I'm sure most of them are happy to be back playing competitive basketball and not just scratcho. That's scratcho, Kwanza, that one of the estate. They're now happy to be able at least to enjoy something that's a little bit more competitive. So we are happy and we are glad that teams have been able to get out there to play. I don't think there was any walkover today. All games started. And so as at now, we're in a good space, and we are hoping now to ramp things up and make sure that we are getting better and better as, from tomorrow onwards. Any hitches that might have been there, I'm sure we will be able to sort them out today.
And as the Secretary General, from the administrative point of your view, how ready is KBF in terms of logistical and probably just administrative work, in
the referees,
venues, so that the league can run smoothly?
I would say that we are ready. I would say that we are ready. First term schools, during the first term period, there is usually a bit of a push and pull when it comes to referees. Especially. Why am I saying this? Because referees, we share referees with the KSSA games. We share referees with, and this is a basketball season in the school's calendar. So obviously, in terms of referees, much as yes, we are ready, you might find once in a while we'll have a little bit of a shortage or a bit of a challenge with getting all the referees that we would want. I'm not saying we'll not get referees, but there are times unataka anji lakini unapata ombam. So you just have to make do with that. Sometimes that comes from the fact that people are looking for that extra buck, and I can't lie that if someone is looking for an extra buck, they will be jumping from one place to another. From one place to another, so they might end up not being available at the time we want them. So we're working with KBRA, which is the Kenya Basketball Referees Association. Actually, I should be saying the Technical Commission. We're working closely with them so that we can just make sure that we don't have any hurdles or challenges. On that, we are ready. For venues, most of the venues, apart from maybe Olympic one court, which we had started repairs, we had to do repairs on our own because there was a crack on the board. So for that, we've done repairs, and hopefully the repairs should be done by next weekend. We're looking for other venues that we can be able to use, standard venues that are accessible.
Can we make a proposal?
Yeah, that was where I was going.
You were about to make a proposal. Okay. Yes. Of a venue?
Yes.
Awesome.
Shauri Moyo
MCA. If you can do repairs.
Yeah, if you can do the repairs at Kibra, you can do a few repairs at Shauri Moyo.
Oh my.
It is just fixing the floor.
Indoor.
I'm not talking about the floor kind of thing. You know, the floor is not an easy thing if you want a good floor.
No, not really. Not for MCA. The floor you just need. I think just
paint,
to paint.
Yeah.
You just need to paint it.
Tennis paint.
No, there's a certain kind, and that paint I know what you're talking about, because a couple of years ago we had tried to do that in Ulinzi, yes. And it was gonna cost us quite a bit.
No, Nyasasa can do that. Then you cut from the league
fee and every area.
Who?
Yes. Yes, we can renovate the court for KBF. Then you bring.
I like that. Yeah. But I mean, we are open to all these ideas. If you just bring them to us, we usually listen. I know sometimes people feel that, oh, I don't want to talk to KBF, I don't want to do this. But if we are really open-minded people, if you bring such ideas and we see it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, the other time in Eldoret, somebody brought up that why should we be playing in UG while UG is not as good as Shoot for Life court. Yes. And we said, why not? And we actually asked Shoot for Life, can we be using your court? Can we come to an agreement that we use your court? So, tunaweza jipata huko.
Okay.
So we are asking stakeholders out there to give KBF proposals on the available courts.
Yeah. Yes. As long as they are standard, we'll come and check them out. I know the league committee has done quite a bit of work in just trying to see which courts are available but are also standardized for use for the league. So we might see some courts that have not been there previously being used. I know last season we used, for example, more in Nairobi Girls, and now it's also ready. We can use it. We just need to align the timings with the school management. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So msiogope, leteni hizo proposals za court. See for us to repair, but for us to
use. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Hapo kwa league vile imeanza, I think the only question I have, which I don't think you can go too deep into it, is on the snipers issue.
Yes.
I've seen there's also a back and forth. They had a fixture today.
Yeah.
But they said categorically that they will not honor that fixture until a certain data is addressed.
Yes. The snipers issue has been a bit of a thorny issue since the last 2 years. Why am I saying this? Because snipers got into the league as a developmental team to Ulinzi. And that is not hearsay or rumors or anything. The fact is they came in as a developmental team to Ulinzi. They have been playing as a developmental team to Ulinzi the same way Blades 2, Stratswords 2, yeah. Zitek Development, Zitek the other team, Anu the other team have been playing as developmental teams to their main leagues. And so yes, last year but one they won the season. But remember, our constitution is very clear. Article 1.5 is very clear that you cannot have a team that is you cannot have the same official in a club of the same category of the same gender. Why do we say that? Because it's also very easy to do match fixing. When that happens. We have had situations where previously, a number of years ago, where I think it was Strath and Strath Blades, they were in the same whatever, and at one point, I can give a walkover to the next team because I need this team. Yeah, and then sometimes it's also difficult to get your like for them, I know the lower division, the snipers is like mtoto wa Ulinzi. So mtoto hawezi chapa baba.
Yeah, true.
Ama baba atamfukuza nyumbani. Na anaweza mfukuza nyumbani. So at the time that they were playing the league last year, that situation was there. They had the same league officials, they had the same team officials, the team manager. They did transfers within the season that were from the lower league to the upper team without because what happens is, and it's there in the league rules and regulations, that if you have a developmental team, you don't have to let them you don't pay transfer fees because this is still your team. So you can what you just need to do is to inform the federation that you're moving this player from your developmental team to your main team. So that was them. However, they have gone to put forms at the registrars in December, which was way after the league was over. And then they have also, they've not yet done their submission of officials. We are waiting for that. Their registration form, we haven't seen it yet. However, like I said, last season's registration form, they had officials who are officials here and officials here. So the same team manager, the same officials, but they are in different categories. So now they have said they have gone to rectify that. But you see, they've rectified it after the fact.
An afterthought.
It's an afterthought.
Yes, after the fact. So we are reviewing that, and we should be able to make a decision as a NEC. We've looked at it. We had a NEC meeting this morning. We have come up with a way forward, and we will be communicating that to them.
Don't want to make it a breaking news.
No, I don't want. No.
At least wajua next week wanacheza Olympic.
I don't like making roadside declarations before we've done an official communication. Then it will be very unfair. It will be very unfair to them. It will be very unfair to them
Because the previous year they had the same issue. They've won Division 1 twice as champions. I think for them, they were supposed to be smart enough to know that once we get into the next season,
they could have changed before that season.
Initially. That was the essence of having teams register with the sports registrar early before the season begins. Right? So they can rectify all that. Ama walikuwa nafikiria watashinda tena championship.
labda unajua saa zingine kuna zile vitu ndogo ndogo we look at and then we are saying I don't need to do this right now. And then something happens, that's when it hits you, I should have done this. Because you see, even them going to do it in December means that is when it hits them that they should have done that. Which is coming a tad bit late, but it doesn't mean it cannot be rectified. It's something that we just need to see how to rectify it. I know they have been going all over socials everywhere. I don't think it's necessary for that. It's for discussions, and to be honest, I don't like playing to trying to politic each and everything. It's a straightforward matter, so let's not politic about it. Let's just talk about the facts that are there.
Do you think we should amend the constitution as KBF? Because I feel like either those developmental teams should not play the playoffs, even if they are number 1, 2. They just, because they will not go anywhere.
I don't think that should become a constitutional matter. We probably need to put something on that in the league rules and regulations, so that then in the league rules and regulations it's very clear that if you have a developmental side, then that developmental side should not even play the playoffs. However, it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22 really, because at the end of the day we want to see good and competitive basketball. So you might find that these developmental teams are also very good. So mtu ameshinda league maybe regular season unbeaten, it's very difficult for them to tell them ati hapana msicheze playoffs. And if you look at Div 1 right now, you'll see that there are very many teams that are developmental teams for the Premier. So it's a catch-22 really. I don't think it would be fair, but we need to find that right balancing act, so that we are not getting into these situations. Because to be honest, if we do, and I'm just saying, maybe today we do Ulinzi, tomorrow it is somebody else, and then they Strat suddenly says they want Strat 2.
be in the
come on
Premier.
top, then what does that? It becomes very
Breeding a very
complicated.
bad culture.
It becomes very complicated unless we totally split these two. Because I know, for example, in football, you'll get a team like FC, even Gor, Kariobangi. They have
youth
but they have youth teams that play in the youth league.
Yes.
And at no point are they competing for the same space.
Yeah.
So if a player is leaving the youth team to come into the main team, they come, but you'll never find that Gor Youth and Gor and the main Gor are playing at the same time in the same league. So you'll always find that Gor Youth is playing in the county league or Div 2, and Div 1, it's Div 1, not Div 2. County league or Div 1, and then Gor is playing up there.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that people should also, I think for me, it's also the understanding. If I have a developmental team, I need to be cognizant of what do I want this developmental team to do for my team.
Yes.
For my team, are we looking to make them compete against the main team, or it's developmental to develop more players so that I have a bigger pool of players to get transition
To the main team.
yeah.
I'm just thinking if a situation like Ulinzi wanafaa washuke, wamechapwa, wanafaa washuke na sniper zimeshinda.
Umeshinda. Yes.
Hapo sasa watarudi waseme
Now you see, that's what I'm saying. These situations can start bringing very many complications. You see now, and maybe the game that Ulinzi is going to play with snipers is the game that will determine Ulinzi being number 2 versus being number 3. Ata not number 3. Usually it's number 3 and number 4.
Yeah.
It becomes tricky.
Or even the inverse. One snipers need one game not to go back to Div 1.
And that one game is with Ulinzi. Yeah, so those are the catch-22 situations that we need to look at, but we've had a discussion. We will have a way forward by the end of today. We've already discussed it. It will be an official communication will be sent to them.
That's okay. Madam, is still on league resumption. What are the setbacks? What are the setbacks? Why the Premier League has not started yet?
We are in discussions with. We started some discussions last year with a potential sponsor, and they had given us a contract. I must say yes, fine, the contract had been signed, but it had been signed without really the proper levels of scrutiny, which was not anybody's fault really at that time. So we got back as an executive and have been looking at the clauses in that contract, which there were very many gaps, which we have requested the sponsor to amend, so that then that contract can become something that is sustainable for the game, because the interest here is the game of basketball, the players, the officials, and at the end of the day also the clubs. So we have made a request. I know during the team managers meeting, we also had that discussion with team managers, and they came up with some representatives who met with the potential sponsor. They had discussions with them. I'm glad to say that the team managers' representatives also came up with the same, almost the same gaps and requests for recommendations that we had seen as an executive. So we've made a request to the potential sponsor to make those amendments. Now, just based on that, and because discussions are ongoing, they made a request that can we first finalize those discussions, and can we get those amendments done before the league starts. Okay, can we at least give them time on their side to see what amendments they can take? So I would just like to say that I know there's been a lot of speculation, but the conversation is still ongoing. We are waiting for them to send back the amended document. We need to ensure also that we have covered the legal provisions in terms of the Constitution and the Sports Act, our Constitution and the Sports Act, to ensure that it is legally done and not something that can get any of us, both the teams, the federation and the sponsor, into any legal matter. So we are looking at all of that. We've agreed to give them a bit of time. However, it's not open-ended. We have specified, and we are hoping that maybe in the next week or two, we will have finalized anything to do with that particular potential sponsor. So once that is done, and this was at their request, we will see the way forward. I know we are getting requests for a number of other sponsors. There are some that have already come on board, even apart from them. But we have said we need to, I think we agreed as the executive, we will need to fast track starting of the Premier League so that we can start, and whoever wants to catch up with us can catch up with us when we're on the way. Yes, so that we are not, we are not putting, we know there's a lot of livelihoods, there's a lot of people that rely on basketball. I mean, there are students out there who are probably on scholarships. There's students out there who get a little bit of allowance because of playing the game. There's teams that pay allowances based on games. There's coaches that are paid based on how many games, how many training sessions, and all of that. Obviously, the officials, especially the technical officials, who at least have to get. So we are looking to see how to fast track this so that we are not holding people too much at ransom and making them suffer.
Definitely.
There was the leaked contract. I don't know if it was done on. It's the contract that it's an amendment.
Wait. I remember everything that has been released out there. Kama ni fake, usually SG anapiga hapo fake. And they don't do that.
Kwa social.
So it's not a question of it. Is it the one? If it's the one,
So the amendment.
How sure are you it's the one?
because you've not confirmed or denied it.
So because
Ukumbuki ile ya nini wakisema eti
Okapi.
ligi na Okapi walisema immediately hapana hii ni fake. Mbona hawajasema hiyo? It is the one.
Tendencies.
it is unfortunate that that document has leaked out, but yes, that is the document before the amendments.
The amendments, yes.
Yeah, before the amendments.
So there's a saboteur. There's a saboteur.
I don't know. The
Because
document
this
went out to team manager
Managers,
representatives.
but the email
But
was
then-
GCOX.
And then we don't know how. Yeah,
Who GCOX is?
but it was not something that we were really gonna hide. I mean,
Yeah, I
the
think
reason
the
we
contract
just
should be
wanted
up.
team manager representatives was for us to have that discussion so that they see and they stop hearing that, oh, there's this. Yeah, we are also just having a conversation with the sponsors, potential sponsors, and telling them, when things are still under discussion, it's also premature to go out there and start putting out information, and because then it starts compromising the communication that is coming from compromising the relationship that the federation has with the team managers, because then you're making it look like while team managers are discussing, it's been agreed and you guys have moved on.
Yeah.
And that's what we have also had a discussion with them and just told them, please, no premature announcements going out. Announcements should be coming from the federation, because at the end of the day, the product is ours.
Yes.
The product belongs to the federation. It doesn't belong to a third party, much as you are a partner.
You're closing inaumiza watu kama sisi. The product belongs to the
Federation. But now, my point is, you've just mentioned there are amendments being done.
Yes.
Is there a possibility that probably we can pull out of this contract?
No.
Now, this is the situation. In Fauland 1, Pato is pro the contract because it's 23 million.
Yes.
I am against the contract because of the details, the devils that are in the details.
Those can be amended. We cannot move out of this
that's why
contract because it was signed by the sitting president and
No,
sitting...
the product belongs to KBF. KBF can say we don't want now to sell this product. We will, and there are other sponsors. Probably there is a better deal out there. But
I don't think it's about us pulling out. It's about us looking at what is the best option. And no, you're on the same page, but
Option.
on different wavelengths. Sometimes that's where they say, I might come to you looking very beautiful and kumbe nimeweka pads kila mahali.
Yes.
Nimeweka huku I've padded myself, put all sorts of whatevers. It's for me the most important thing is like he says, the details in it. Because in this era where Kenyans go to court for each and everything, there are details in there that can get you into legal matters that will not be necessary for the game, and that might end up hurting the game or bringing the game to disrepute. And like I said, for me, the most important thing is for the game not to be in disrepute.
Yes.
For the clubs, the players, the officials to feel that they have not been that they have not been shortchanged.
You're trying to sugarcoat it.
Yes, that they have not been shortchanged. They've not been shortchanged. Oh my goodness. I'm not really sugarcoating. I'm just trying to make sure that...
get the right one.
Yes, just to make sure that teams are not feeling like tupa under the bus and there's anyone or anything that is hidden in the background. So so that's the most important thing. Okay. You also don't want to get into a situation where you're locking yourself up for growth. And basketball is on a positive growth trajectory right now, we could say.
It is.
There's been a number of interventions we have put. They might have brought us empty pockets, negative what, but at least the game is growing. We're looking at the future, and it's for us. It's about the posterity of the game, really.
Definitely.
Still on, I think on, but hapo hiyo contract iko na mambo
kidogo,
iko na mbwembo yake. So the league, the delay in starting the Premier is out of goodwill from KBF to the sponsor, and also the goodwill from the sponsor to make those amendments. Or it's because they feel like we can just start. Pale watatupata vile umesema watupatie hapo.
No, but now you see now when the sponsor must be on board, because one of the key things the sponsor was supposed to pay for are the venues.
But still, teams are paying the league fee, yes. So we've been surviving with that. We can start with that.
Hata swali liko maana
league fee inatoka by the way ya Premier.
Tuko na sponsor
ameshalipa.
Ajalipa?
Akilishalipa.
Akilipa alafu utarudishia league fee.
Lakini si mnaweza pata, si maybe tutasema mtakuwa na cash awards or something.
Sponsor analeta cash award.
Wanaleta number 1, 2, 3.
Sasa ndio ile ya tulikuwa tunasema number 12.
Lakini pia wacha niwaulize, but
arudishwe league.
KBF has a lot of other programs other than just the league.
Yeah, true.
And sometimes when you get maybe like a sponsor coming on board, depending on how everything will run. There's many other things. This year we have under 16, under 18, African pre-qualifiers. We have the team that's going to the Commonwealth before knock takes over. We have Nations League under 21, under 23. We have EBAC that will be coming up later in the year. We have the Women Basketball Africa League qualifiers. We have Rotubal. So PSC.
Yeah, of course. But don't you
So
think?
sometimes people look at it that all the money that
referees
KBF get ni venue tu na referees. Yes, venue and referees are a very big chunk of it, but
the other programs.
remember we also have all these operational costs that we have to take care of, for us to be successful. So lazima pia tuzifanye.
Ministry of Sport kwa inawasaidia na nini? Kama hizo international games. Let's bring something.
Yes, the ministry, and I want to say the last 2 years especially, the ministry has really come in strong to support us. But they give tickets for travel, then they give money for accommodation on the other side, on international. So are we going to send a team without them training and being in camp in Kenya?
Yeah.
At least we have to call the team. Once in a while, we have managed to get camp in Kenya, but usually it's 5 to 3 days. So now 5 to 3 days is very tricky if you want your team to perform well, to prepare well. Yes. So we need to do early preparations, and that's where we are still kind of struggling to get it right, to get funding. It's not even to get it right. We have these huge plans, but the funding is not there. So you'll find we'll have to try and see if we can manage within what we have. Yeah,
that's okay. Mimi bado niko tu hapo kwa
The contract.
not really the contract, but KBF is the sole. Tulisema ndio
The product ni yao.
Product ni yao. The owner of the product.
Yeah, the owner of the product.
Hapo inaniumiza mimi sana kama Fallen One. Inaniumiza sana.
No, product ni yetu sisi sote. Sisi ndio wale wase tunajaribu kuweka in order so that hii product ikue poa, ikae poa. Lakini sasa tukiwacha mkwe disjointed,
True.
Yeah. Not that ati ni yetu.
There's a reason why I'm asking you that. Because remember kuna a few stakeholders, especially independent media, wale wamekuwa wakijaribu ku elevate basketball for the past 5-10 years. K-Hoops, Mtaani, Fallen One, wako wengi.
Yes.
Okapi Sports, wako wengi. B+. What will happen to them if we give the sponsor almost all the rights? What will happen to these independent journalists, independent media practitioners? Are you going to negotiate under your amendment? Are you in a position to negotiate for independent journalists, independent media practitioners? At least they get some content out of this basketball, even if they're not going to live stream or they're not going to do any other thing to commercialize, but at least they should be allowed to at least get some highlights to at least continue.
Obviously, across the world, you'll never find a place where everything is locked to just one person and one whatever.
Yes.
And so we will look at means and ways. I know part of the amendments touches quite a bit on that part. And so we will have an opportunity to have that discussion. We have also been in the process actually since last year of finalizing our broadcasting, marketing and media rights policy as the federation. So we are just finalizing on that, and that should be able to give proper direction in how we will be able to handle the different kinds of media, so that we are not totally losing out by locking anybody who could be giving us good visibility out there. So once we finalize that policy and the marketing policy, then it will be very clear where for example, main sponsor where they can start and where their where they can end. And so with that, I think that would bring more clarity. We've kind of finished it. We just need to do a bit of polishing on it and then be able to present it to teams and to everybody else. So those policies are very important. Unfortunately, they've not been there before. But you know, sometimes as you grow, you start realizing I have gaps here. So I need to close these gaps by making sure I have done this. So as you grow, you keep understanding and keep looking at where the gaps are, and you keep you keep having interventions on them.
That is some good news.
Yeah.
At least that's my...
Sija confirm, but
Yeah,
nimesema at least the
course.
policy will try to look at how all these things can work together.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Kuna hope at the end of the tunnel.
Zone out kidogo juu kuna umesema ministry nasaidia inalipa tickets, accommodation. Hiyo team si team list, achana team list ni ya coach. The support wanaitwa the technical.
Yes.
Then, how can we find ourselves in tuko na passport ziko tu hapo
Technical officials aje.
yeah, like sasa sisi tuende tumerepresent basketball tu, sisi tunakaa tunaona players wako sawa. Okay, sasa hata niseme basi team manager
Huyu anajaribu kujitumia CV
anatuma kiplani.
Plani anafanya hivi akituma CV.
like juu kama ni open tunaweza enda team managers wawili.
Because I remember
Ule ameshapata experience, alafu sasa mimi ananionyesha.
Anakuonyesha nini.
Ndo next time pia mimi naweza enda peke yangu.
I wish there was a way that we had all those spaces. It's usually very difficult. You'll find most of the time the federation will the ministry usually does rationalization, and most of the time they will give us even sometimes less tickets. So we are always wondering, so who goes, who does not go. There are many times we've left out a coach who had been with the team throughout, a team manager who had been with the team throughout as they were training and preparing, but we've had to let them stay behind. So it's tricky. For coaches, most of the time we usually request the Coaches Commission, which is to give us like a long list. And then after that long list, the executive will try and look at which are the coaches, what are their qualities, and where can we put them, and where can they work better. We have had situations where sometimes we have very good coaches, but they cannot work very well with the federation in terms of, we've put you there as a coach, but federation is going on this side, you're going on this side. Then now it gets to a point where we're asking ourselves, now how do we get this coach at least to be able to be with us in the same direction? But yeah, that happens. So when we get the long list, then we try to look at
the first point ni jina yako kwa hiyo list. Jina yako kwa the long list. Sasa ndio uanze kucampaign.
Unaenda kwa the current PM na kumenta pole with the help of SG of course.
Sahi labda games hapa within za Kenya zile
hizi za huku. And then sometimes team managers sometimes will depend. It depends on quite a number of factors. There are times when certain team, it depends with the team that is traveling. So you'll find there are times we're looking at how the interrelation of that person with the players or with the coach, because we've also had instances where you find a team manager has traveled with the coach and haizi ambia coach anything, na coach hawezi mwambia anything. So hapo tena unajua kukiwa na hiyo tension between them, then it means the tension can trickle down to the players. So we have then to manage. So those are
I think hapo nimequalify. Niko na a lot of good relationships.
See you too. There's a number of other things. By the way, we have a criteria of almost 7 to 8 things that we look at.
You need to share that.
That criteria. Social media.
It's not public.
Hiyo ni hao wenye wanaangalia.
Nika interview lakini hujui tunaenda kuongea basi.
Ni kama interview. Tutaangalia huyo Mbam. Unajua pia that
mimi naenda natete huko kwa marefu.
You know the people who are problem solvers. And you don't want a situation where umekati manager ameenda huko na team. Problem imetokea huko cannot solve.
Amejificha.
Ama cannot solve. Ama endo amefika na endo wa kwanza kwenda.
Endo kwa shida endo za mekaa tu. We are not hatujapata accommodation.
So at the end of the day, especially when it comes to problem solving and whatever, just trying to make sure that people are comfortable. Usijiangalie kwanza, umefika huko umeanza kuona mimi ndio
nitakwenda shopping.
Hapo hapo huyo ako nyumbani hata mimi sijui unasema.
Sawa.
Nimesikia.
The thing ni tu wanyeke na huyo TM wa sahi. Nipige kwanza local.
Sasa kwa level gani? You see nimekwambia kuna levels nyingi.
Sasa kama ile timu ulienda nayo Egypt. Sasa instead wewe uende.
Mimi hata sitaki national team, nataka 3x3, hizi za 3x3 hizi ndio naenda sana.
But hiyo bado ni national team.
National team 3x3.
Acha niseme hiyo ndio category.
Hiyo ndo category. Hapo ni watu watatu tu naangalia.
Unataka kwenda na wasichana?
Wote zote.
Utamotivate.
Yeah, motivation. Niko good at motivating.
You're very good.
I'm very good. I'm very good. Lakini naenda kuongeza hizo skills pia. Unajua 3x3 nimechagua 3x3 kwa sababu nimeona only 4 players na coach. So tuko 5. Nikianza na hapo, nikileta kwa ile main team, sasa niko na 12 to 15 players. Coach, team doctor nini.
But sometimes it's not very straightforward. In fact, sometimes in 3x3 championships is where we have it's more complicated.
Huko kwa complication ndo nataka.
Hapo ndo penye nataka. Complicate.
Hiyo ndo test ile sasa nafika nirudi nikwambie Andy usinyeke tena.
Okay.
Nikirudi nikwambie hivyo usinyeweke tena. Anyway, hiyo contract nafikiria tumechambua vile tunaweza.
Mmeichambua.
Kuna episode tulifanya ya the year leaked nini tukaweka clauses zingine tulikuwa tunaona
that deal amendment.
So nyinyi ndo mmeandika pia sijui mahali.
Si atuandiki. Sisi yetu ni video tu.
Ni videos tumeongelelea.
Tumeongelelea actually.
Okay.
Tulikuwa tunasema kama hiyo termination clause.
Yeah, very important.
Hawa watu wako na nini ya kuterminate, KBF haina nini ya kuterminate. So sisi tutaingia tu. The other thing ilikuwa hatuwezi anza na 400. 400 ni kidogo.
No 400 ni ya kusign.
Ni signing fee. Ama kuna 10% ya ule mtu alileta hiyo deal. Unajua pia kuna kuangana hiyo deal maker 10%.
Apewe
10% yake.
Probably. But we highlight the main
issues zile tulikuwa nazo.
Tuna feel the
details.
Please send them over. We have been taking feedback. Like I said, the team managers representatives have given us feedback. Kama pia nyinyi mko na feedback, mkupatiane huko kwa hao team managers. Bring. We will get them, we will look at them because we take that feedback, we include it in what we have already sent to them, to the sponsors.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, as we finalize, we wanted to know when are we having election, because as the current federation
office bearers
right now, I think may overstay office.
Yes, with some months.
Yes.
And yes, with some months. Last year we had given notice to do elections.
Yes.
County elections were supposed to be in May.
Yes.
And national elections were supposed to be in June. It's unfortunate that we then lost the president on the 1st of May, which was just actually our first county elections were supposed to take place on the 5th. So immediately after that death, we went back to the registrar and and let her know what had happened, and she gave us 90 days after burial. However, we didn't wait 90 days after burial because we went back to her. I remember the president was buried on the 23rd of May, but then we went back to her on the towards end of July. I'm trying to remember the date, and we gave her notice of intention to do elections come August. But you know, because she had given us 90 days, so we had given our notice of intention. But then almost a week after that, someone went to court to stop our elections and at that time our notice of intention to do elections was actually that we do elections, county elections in August or September, and October we do the national elections. So we have been in court now with that case. In October, the SDT decided that that case should go back to the registrar for arbitration because the documentation that we presented and the letters that we presented that we had already called for elections. This happened. 90 days, yes, they are not yet over, but we had given our notice of intention. Now we have come back here, so the registrar said, let's go back. I mean the SDT, go back to the registrar and you guys arbitrate on when elections can be done. We have had, this week was going to be, I think, our 5th arbitration session this past week. However, we didn't have it. There were a few issues that led to us not having it. The registrar has requested for next week. So we are hoping next week we can go. For us, we had a roadmap in place. Before the president passed away, we had a roadmap which had said that we would have elections by that last year, May, June. Now with his death, we came up with another roadmap which we had given during our intention to do elections, which was for October. Now then, when we started our arbitration, we came up again with another roadmap to say, can we do elections in December? However, our other partner said they did not support our roadmap. And so they had been requested by the registrar, and then can you go and do your roadmap so that we come to the table? You give your roadmap, the federation has given their roadmap, let's come to an agreement on what dates will work for your side and this side. So we have been waiting for that session to have that roadmap. The session before this one and the previous one, we had a discussion which they said they were not yet ready with their roadmap. They are still consulting. And so that is when the registrar said, okay, fine. Now December came and went because the registrar was busy. January came and went. Now we have to do another session. Last week we were hoping she would be there. She had a meeting that was unavoidable with the CS. Someone else was supposed to sit in the arbitration, but they said they didn't have the documentation. She had given another officer to do it, so we are still in that process. So now, unfortunately, we are hoping that when we go for this coming week, when we go for the arbitration session, at least we will have because we've already, okay, now even our roadmap has expired. Now again, we have to do another roadmap. So we've been doing roadmaps and roadmaps.
So my question is,
but on the 18th also we have to go back to the SDT with a way forward. Yes. So it's been a very it's been a journey.
So now after this arbitration you're supposed to have, when you've overstayed in an office and you have an arbitration, that means the SDT or the sports registrar, that committee should come up with a caretaker.
No. No. You can't leave a vacuum anywhere. So it's not automatic. A caretaker committee is put in place if there's very, very major
Gross,
things
yeah.
that have happened.
Like misappropriation of funds,
If there's been, yes, the constitution has been what, and there is what. It's not an automatic thing. Remember, even for the government, that's a very expensive affair.
Yeah,
Because
it is.
putting a caretaker committee means you're going to pay them, you're going to do what. And that's why, and I'll not lie, that's one of the things they wanted. But the registrar was outright and told them, why would you want a caretaker committee when you have people here who have given intention for election? So it's
Nikutafuta backdoor ya kuingia hapo.
so it's not making sense. It's not making sense that I have a letter of intention to do elections, and then you are coming and saying, no, do.
We need
So-
a caretaker committee. No?
Yes. So it would happen if in the event now, as a federation, we say we are not doing elections. And for us, we have been going also for these arbitration sessions because we want to, we want to get over and done with it. Why am I saying want to get over and done with it? There are a number of other things and other players who really want to come in.
Yeah.
And it's holding back a lot of things because sometimes you want to negotiate and sometimes you're thinking, okay, we might end up negotiating and leaving. Obviously, you don't want to negotiate things that you might not be there to control.
Yeah.
So we want to get over and done with it because there's still so much more that we see that can be done.
Is there a possibility of a handshake?
No, that was initially hiyo ndio kitu walikuwa na propose. You see, when you go to a committee, an arbitration committee, na unataka caretaker committee, hiyo ni kama unataka kujiingiza kwa gava na backdoor. A caretaker committee
But caretaker
watachagua watu
inamaanisha
wengine
now
kutoka hii side na watu
the
wengine
normal
kutoka hii side.
hapana.
Yeah,
Caretaker sijui mnatolewa wote.
not really.
It depends.
Wana agree hapo.
It depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's that way. Sometimes it's the office is removed and then people who, and it might not necessarily be basketballers. It can be, it can be anybody. The government can decide, the government can decide someone who is a singer, who is a msanii, ama
Creative.
nani, yes. It just depends on.
Yeah, that's risky. For basketball,
For basketball.
It can. If you look at some of the federations that have had caretaker committees, sometimes that has not worked very well. Look at when football at some point had a caretaker committee. It had people, some who didn't even have the interest of football at heart. Cricket has had whatever, and it did not even, because people even who are put there was nobody from cricket. So at the end of the day, there was a judge, there was a sijui award, there was even a basketballer, there was a journalist, there was what. So at the end of the day, first of all, before they come in and try to start understanding what's the whatever, it's a few months, and it can go on for years. Cricket had a caretaker committee for almost 5 if not more years.
Yeah, before the
Yeah.
Yes.
So it would not be advisable
To go that route.
to go that route, especially with the trajectory that that
The
basketball
game
has, because it takes you steps back.
Yes, definitely.
On the
And by
election,
the way, I'm not saying that because
You're in office.
It's the reality.
It's the reality.
Yeah.
It's just to make sure that basketball is in the right space.
you've mentioned the constitution. I'm not sure if the constitution that was amended, was it adopted fully?
Yes,
Ah.
it was.
When I notice about
I left it at ratification
there
or
was no
something.
notice. The meeting took place on August 24th at Upper Hill School.
Okay. But like, the last time I remember, ilikuwa na the proposed amendment. Ilikuwa na kumekiwa.
They were done.
Adopted the proposed amendment.
Yes.
And it was finalized.
Yes. Yes.
So
Ah.
team manager, kwa nayo team manager.
Some have.
Mi niko sure bado tuko kwa, ndo maana nimeuliza hiyo.
No. Maybe you didn't receive it, but it was sent out. I'm sure even the last meeting, there was an online meeting we had some time ago, and people were saying, and even whatever was saying, he saw names of team managers, but I can forward it to you again if you don't have it.
Tulisome at least.
Yeah, I know there's someone else who had asked me for it, but I'll make sure that, that they can get it.
That's okay.
Yeah. Hata mimi naona nikati tumemaliza election. So election is coming soon. Probably my last question is the
Coming soon, it might be tomorrow.
Election.
Okay, not tomorrow, because
Election,
there's usually a process in place, and then it has to go to county, and then now commissions, and then county and commissions, and then.
my final question is: will you be defending your seat, or will you be going higher? Because I am seated next to the incoming.
Huyu ni best yangu sana.
Anasemanga incoming, anajiintroduce incoming SG. So ni kama shakutoa. Sasa wewe
tuambie vita tunapigana na
labda yuko hapo. Anaona tu ako kwa chama, cha person.
I will be defending my position, yes.
Sasa imekuwa official.
Although there's a lot more to it. I will be making an announcement before that.
Fauland kutafute breaking news. Yes, kuko ready. Press conference will be there. Patron incoming.
Yes.
RJ ni fixture.
RJ ni nani?
Robert Wanjala. Roba ni fixture. Nasema hapo mkimpatia hivi day one fixture yote kwa shati.
Tafadhali.
Fixture yote kwa shati.
Kweli.
Ukinini tu unaangalia shati leo ni siku gani, game iko wapi? Iko yote hivi. Mimi naye nalilia tu co-opted.
I know sometimes it sounds very easy, but I wish everybody the best of luck. I wish everybody who is ready to work. It's about being ready to work for the game. I used to laugh sometimes. There's someone who used to say is a servant of the game, and I used to laugh about it. And now I realize it's not even a servant, it's almost sometimes like a slave.
You sleep basketball.
No, you can't afford to do that. You can lose out on a lot of things. You need to find a balance. Sometimes you even have to disappear just to give yourself some health break. There's health break for well-being.
So since Fauland tutakuwa tuna lose 2 to the
main office,
to the new KBF office.
So mimi kuja replace.
Wewe unaweza kuja utriple. Nimeona chemistry kwa sababu wewe unamreplace. Wengine na mafusa, tutakuwa na mafusa. Fauland itaendelea bado. Otherwise tunashukuru sana.
Yes.
Unless uko na any other thing, parting shot.
Parting shot.
The new season.
New season, new stuff. We are really looking forward to grow the game. Let's keep supporting each other, because at the end of the day, everybody has something that they can bring into the game. What you have, I might not have. What somebody else has, I might not have, but I might have something and you might have something that together we can work together to grow the game. At the end of the day, people disagree to agree, but it should never be disagree to be enemies. And like I said at the beginning, the more you fight, the more you love each other. So it's not a matter of agreeing to everything. Let's be constructive in bringing the good things that should be there in the game, so that together we grow the game. All of us have a role to play in growing the game. And let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's grow this game to be the best that it can be, because I believe we can be the best in Africa. If we put our minds to it and if we put our efforts to it, we can be.
I also believe we can.
Tulikuwa tunamaliza, but kuna kitu imekuja kwa kichwa. Imekuja kwa kichwa sasa. Kulikuwa na hiyo proposal ya Elite 8.
Yes.
Your concept bado, I think a lot of people understand what's the thought behind that.
The thought behind it. With the growth and the trajectory that we are seeing, we would want to start baby steps into professionalizing part of the league. It becomes very difficult to professionalize when you have 70 teams. You can't professionalize 70 teams at a go. But if we start with baby steps, get more teams that can be able to do what Thunder is doing, for example. Then the competition gets better. And for us, when players start earning, players are happy, they're playing a better game. Guess what happens? The national team also becomes better because then they're better players, the competition amongst players is higher, it's better. And so that's how to grow the game. Not when people are relaxed and just know that, oh, Thunder is going to be number 1, KPN number 2. And no, we don't want that. We want competition. We want competition where you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah. So
you don't know. Every day becomes a good game to watch.
Yeah, true. Abel once said, once said professional teams make a professional league. And I believe if you have more teams like Thunder, the league will be professional as well.
Yes. And then what happens to the national team? Because from us, the federation, we also look at it from that level. Yes. We can get better players.
Better national team.
Yes, better national team players who can compete at highly competitive levels.
Absolutely.
So it's still alive, very much alive. It's something we would want to look at. We said, as agreed by the team managers, it's not possible this season because of the way things are, but we're already setting the groundwork for next season. So that come next season, now it's all systems go.
I think my contribution to that will be 8 and 12 is not that far. You can just say the 12 teams that are in Premier. Mweke kama ni 1 million each team, ama 250 vile mmesema, wale wanashindwa, there is another division. Because like you see, Nyosasa, we have a very big sponsor. We have just not unveiled. We have tried to break to Premier.
You 8 and 12, I get your point. I think we were just trying to make sure, first of all, you start with, because the 4 teams below that, you can clearly see.
But the Premier is universities, banks, and Thunder. Universities, banks, and Thunder.
Also, where is KPA?
KPA is a parastatal,
and
Umoja and Thunder.
And then
Eldonets wako na sponsor.
Equity
ni bank.
Eldonets.
Stanbic Bank. Eldonets wako na Platinum. Au nika bank, bado ni microfinance. So pesa si shida hapa. Thunder pia sasa sponsor.
Pesa si shida.
Si shida. Hata mimi nashanga bado KBF tunaweka 70 kwa Premier.
Pesa kidogo sana.
So tungefanya
250 tu waanze sasa waanze kusikia huko. Pole pole tu tukiongeza tu.
Unajua lazima pia tuangalie. Najua shida yenyewe mnasema hivi hapa saa hii. Alafu sasa tukiitap hivi paf.
Si zote, si timu zote. Unaweza kusema hivyo timu zote unakuja nayo backlash. Lakini kusema tu tuna vile nimesema hiyo elite. Premier tu ndo tunataka kwanza tuanze na nini? Tuone kama hiyo kitu inaweza ingia.
Wacha tuanze na elite.
Kwa sababu another argument ilikuwa ni Div 1 unalipa 70, Div 2 tunalipa 70, Premier unalipa 70. Div 2 tunacheza Olympic au wengine wanacheza Nyayo.
Sasa
kwa jua. Sasa hii 70 benefit iko wapi? Sisi ndio tuna finance ya Premier wacheze na sisi tunataka kupanda huko.
I get your point, and it's something where I'm sure it came up in the team managers, so it's an ongoing discussion. And I'm sure by the time we are getting to end of, sometimes these discussions that are major changes don't happen immediately because there's a number of factors that we have to put in place. Sometimes you don't just make decisions like that because you wake up and then say Premier tumepeleka 150. And you see the time between when we came up with this and the league starting. Sasa utaanza kupata teams wanasema our sponsor didn't know hakufanya budget. Hiyo budget
I think basi watakuwa na another AGM.
So tutaifanya
katikati ya season.
Tutaanza that communication on something like that.
Itakuwa sawa.
The way we've said elite right now for next season. So tukianza sahi na watu waanze kujua nikitaka kuingia elite niko na 250k ama whether it's 300k. I know the committee has been looking at that. Ushaanza kujua what to expect and what to anticipate.
Kuna swali ya mwisho ya hii ni ya Mafusa. Hii ni ya Mafusa. Mr. Dines. One of the anaweza tu uliza tu all star this time ikue. All star
with the sponsor
akikuja
All Star
weekend. Si All Star siku moja tumefanya kila kitu.
All Star weekend. After the premier, after the league or between first leg and second leg. Between first leg and second leg.
Voting, fans.
Hiyo narudishia league committee sahi naenda kuambia wa make sure hapo before fixture ya second leg
kuna weekend ya All Star.
Ya All Star.
3-point shooters.
Sawa. Kitambo it used to be there. But sikuzi unajua
na sasa ndio tuko na hiyo hype tuiongeze.
Sawa.
Sasa nimemaliza ukweli.
Tumesikia.
Waga ni mbaya.